everybody. Today I'm not all that far from downtown Indianapolis. In fact, I can see it right up here behind me. I can see quite a few places here in front of me that make this particular neighborhood near downtown Indianapolis kind of a destination neighborhood for a lot of people. It's definitely a place where you can live, although a lot of people here around Indianapolis may not necessarily think about living here in this neighborhood. They just think about going here to take advantage of some of the things that it has to offer. I'm in Fletcher Place in Indianapolis, so we're going to explore a little bit today and see what it has to offer and see what it might be like to live in a place like this, so stay tuned. Hey everybody, I'm Jason Compton with the Compton Home Group. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time to the channel and you want to know all there is to know about places like Fletcher Place or any of the surrounding neighborhoods or all of Indianapolis' surrounding areas for that matter, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap the little bell so you're notified every time we do a new video. Now we have people reaching out to us from all over the country trying to figure out where they want to live and what's going to be the best fit for them. So if you have questions about any of the areas in Indianapolis or the surrounding areas, the surrounding cities, then don't hesitate to reach out any way that you know how. We'll always have your back with those questions, and we'll certainly have your back when it comes time for you to make your move to Indianapolis. All right, so again, in Fletcher Place in Indianapolis right now, and it's not a big neighborhood, definitely, but it's a neighborhood that has really exploded over the past 10 years or so as kind of a destination neighborhood, certainly a residential one as well, but a destination neighborhood. And there's a truck here in front of me actually that is pulling out. Looks like it's probably made a drop at a super cool place, Hotel Tango Distillery, which is a whiskey bar, cocktail bar, right up here around the corner. And you can see behind me, back here's the truck going by, real squeaky and loud. Off here to the left, this is Hotel Tango. But again, this is a destination type neighborhood. So go around this corner and boom, there's Hotel Tango. Awesome place, really cool place. I'm not a big whiskey drinker, but do like cocktails, do like beer, and cocktails are definitely gonna have at a place like that. But Fletcher Place is a residential neighborhood. You can have a condo here, you can have a home here, and it's getting more and more expensive to live in a place like this unless you get into a home that is pretty run down, needs a lot of renovating, or needs to be completely torn down, and then you put a new home on top of it. But if you do something like that, you could be talking easily $400,000, $500,000 and higher. So it's not exactly the cheapest place to live, but it's a desirable place to live. So destination in that a lot of people from Indianapolis come to this place, or at least know this place, because of places like Hotel Tango, or right behind me, Bluebeard, which is a restaurant in Indianapolis, just right here. In fact, Fletcher Place is kind of known almost as a foodie neighborhood. Although it's not huge, it does have a good number of options with places like Bluebeard, or if you just like bar food, the Dugout Bar, which is incredibly popular just up the street here on Virginia. Or you can get into a place like Milktooth, which has been around for a number of years and has a lot of really super unusual types of food. And we've been there for breakfast multiple times and it's been awesome. Totally original, very unique. Some of the best food that you're gonna find around Indianapolis. Indianapolis has a better food scene than what people realize for the most part, especially people across the country. They wouldn't think about Indianapolis as being a big foodie city. And I'd say overall it's not a foodie city, but the food scene here has improved a tremendous amount over the past 10 years. So you can find a lot of really good, unique restaurants, great chefs, with great places like a Milktooth. So with Fletcher Place, a lot of people will come here for those particular locations, those things to do. But one of the things that would make Fletcher Place really an attractive place to live for somebody is its location to downtown. So some popular neighborhoods actually surrounding Fletcher Place. In fact, one of the more popular neighborhoods in the Indianapolis area right now is Fountain Square, just to the southeast of where I'm standing right now. And Fletcher Place, for the most part, is bordered on the west side by E Street, which sounds kind of crazy. And then you've got Bates Hendricks neighborhood just to the south, and the southern portion of this neighborhood, Fletcher Place, is I-70. And then you get over to the southeast side and you've got Fountain Square. So easy to get into Fountain Square from here. You can just take the Cultural Trail down Virginia, right over the top of the highways. So it's not a big deal to get from one place to another. And you could walk that, you could bike that, and you could certainly easily drive that, and for the most part find some pretty easy parking too. But living here in Fletcher Place, with its location to Fountain Square or Bates Hendricks, although Bates Hendricks doesn't have a tremendous amount to offer right now, but it's a cool old historic neighborhood. Just to the north of this, I mean just barely to the north, if you take the Cultural Trail up, you'll hit Mass Ave, and Mass Ave is awesome. That is one of my favorite places in the entire city. Tons of restaurants, tons of bars, very artsy, tons going on in that particular area. It's a whole other topic for another several sets of videos as to what's going on there in Mass Ave and how much it has to offer, but you're super, super close here in Fletcher Place. So to have that entertainment close by, but also for work. You know, if you work at, let's say, Eli Lilly, which its international headquarters are right here in Indianapolis. It is just off to the west. In fact, I can see the sign to the building for Eli Lilly just off there. I can see Lucas Oil Stadium easily just off to the west here as well. Also Anthem, their headquarters are right here in Indianapolis and within walking distance. So there are a lot of young professionals who work in those particular companies that live in Fletcher Place, or at least find Fletcher Place a desirable place to be because they could walk to work, they could bike to work. And Indianapolis isn't really a perfect city for walkability. It has areas that are kind of walkable, kind of like this one here with Fletcher Place. And you could find, for the most part, everything that you're going to need on a daily basis. I'm gonna cross the street. In a place like Fletcher Place, or at least fairly close, but for the most part, Indianapolis has a pretty big car culture. So in order to get around in Indianapolis, you're gonna need a car of some kind. You'll need either Uber or taxi. Uber's probably gonna be more popular than a taxi, or your own vehicle. The public transportation is not fantastic, although the Red Line, the newest public transport system, does go through Fountain Square, and you could catch that in order to get into downtown area of Indianapolis pretty easily. So you could do that. But Fletcher Place would be one of those neighborhoods, along with a handful of others that I could think of, where it's possible, although you gotta be really committed to not owning a car. And you know, there are certain cities in the entire world, or even this country here, where I'd say that's probably a lot more reasonable, and Indianapolis is in tops of that list, for sure. You're gonna have to live in some specific neighborhoods, but I would say this particular neighborhood is one of those neighborhoods that you could maybe get away with that. Again, you'd have to be really committed to doing that, definitely. But it's not a tremendously large neighborhood, although it is stuffed and packed with things to do here. And of course, the location is so fantastic for getting out of Fletcher Place and getting into some of the other neighborhoods and see what they have to offer as well. So again, just to the north of me, you got downtown Indianapolis. Just to the southeast of me, you got Fountain Square, and you've got everything that surrounds it that's really within walking distance for you, or biking distance on most days of the week. So if that urban living, that very dense city type lifestyle is something that you're interested in, of course you can live in downtown Indianapolis proper, but you're not gonna find a whole lot of single family homes in downtown Indianapolis. It'd be exceptionally rare. Most are gonna be condos and larger buildings. And a place like Fletcher Place gets you close to downtown Indianapolis, and you have options. You can certainly get condos here in Fletcher Place, but you can find those single family homes. And some of them, of course, that have been renovated and are newer or completely new built. You can get into a couple of neighborhoods that are even closer to downtown Indianapolis, and you're gonna get into, of course, some homes that are quite a bit older than what you're gonna find here in Fletcher Place as well. So Fletcher Place, crossing the street here once again, could be a good option for you if you do like that particular type of lifestyle. Dense, urban, walkable, a place that's popular for not just the residents that live there, but also residents of Indianapolis who need some place to go, need a bar to go to, need a restaurant to go to, need some entertainment, got it close by. So if you have any questions at all about a place like Fletcher Place, or any of the nearby neighborhoods, or any of Indianapolis or the surrounding cities, reach out any way that you know how. And until the next one, we'll see you later.